Welcome to the Mysteries of the Burrows. I am Ted Stonewall. Please sit back and cozy up for the mystery of the poison pen.
The mill wheel turned. Water flowed over the paddles, always the same. I was scooping grain into sacks when Walter Hayward's shadow blocked the doorway. The light behind him made him into a shape without features. Then he stepped inside and I saw his face. Jaw working, eyes hard. The smell of leather and worry came in with him. He didn't knock. The wheel's too loud for knocking anyway.
Ted!
I set down my scoop. Flour dust hung in the afternoon air, turning the sunlight white.
Problem?
Walter pulled a letter from his waistcoat. Cream-coloured paper, expensive. His hands wanted to crumple it, his knuckles went white, but he held it flat, controlled. I wiped grain dust on my trousers, took the letter. Heavy paper. I could feel the cotton fibres under my thumb. The writing was printed, not cursive. Each letter separate, deliberate.
Your daughter Lily has been carrying on with half the lads in the Burrows. Everyone knows it. Someone should tell you before she shames the Hayward name entirely.
No signature. Something twisted in my chest. Not for the words, I knew they were lies. For Walter. For having to read them. For knowing 7 other families were reading worse. Walter's face was red above his collar. A vein pulsed at his temple.
Lies.
I know that. That 7 families got letters. 7. All anonymous. All saying things at market day last week. 2 borough folk nearly fought over words in a letter.
I read it again. The paper felt wrong in my hands. Too fine for hate.
What else did they say?
Chester Silverbrook waters down his grain. Widow Agnes Thatcher's husband was a thief. Angelica's not really a Bagwell. Not on her grandfather's side, anyway. True or not doesn't matter now. The saying's been done. I thought about that. Poison in a well. Even if you knew better, you'd still wonder about the water.
Sheriff's got them. All 6 other letters. He doesn't know what to do. Letters aren't illegal, but they're killing us.
I'll look at them.
Walter nodded once. His hand went to his pocket, then stopped.
I can pay.
I know.
He left. Walked back out into the sunlight. His shoulders were bent like he was carrying sacks. The mill wheel kept turning. Water kept flowing. I had work to do. Sheriff Fletcher Thornhill's office smelled like pipe smoke, and old paper, and something else. Worry, maybe. If worry has a smell. 7 letters lay on his desk, cream-coloured squares against dark wood. They looked harmless. They weren't. The sheriff was tamping tobacco into his pipe, his thumb pressed hard enough to bend the stem.
Walter says you might help.
Might?
Better than what I've got, which is nothing. They're all there. 7 families. More damage than a barn fire.
I moved to the desk. Didn't touch the letters yet, just looked. Same paper, same ink colour, black, slightly faded. Same careful printing.
Can I touch them?
Sheriff Fletcher waved his pipe. Smoke trailed from the bowl. I picked up the first letter, held it to the window. Light came through the paper. The watermark showed clear. Premium stock. Hazel's shop. Inwell's fine paper and pens. Sold paper like this. The second letter. Same paper. Same weight. Third letter. Same. I set them down in a line. Leaned close. My face was inches from the paper. The ink smelled old. The bottle had been sitting for months. Each letter printed. Not cursive. Someone trying to hide their hand. But the crosses on the T's, they all sloped right. Just slightly. Every single one. The O's were perfect circles. Too perfect. You had to practice to make circles that round. And the capital letters. There. At the start of each one. A tiny flourish. The pen wanted to curl before making the line straight. I picked up the first letter again, then the fourth. Compared them side by side. Same slant. Same circles. Same flourishes.
What do you see?
Someone with good penmanship. Trying to hide it.
Can you tell who?
Not yet. These were all posted in the Burrows.
Violet Weed Whisker's office? All of them.
The paper's expensive. Not many borough folk buy this quality.
So you'll ask Violet?
Yes.
And if she won't tell you?
I looked at the 7 letters, thought about Walter Hayward's bent shoulders, thought about families not speaking, about borough folk nearly fighting at market.
She'll tell me.
The post office smelled like paper and sealing wax and wood. Violet Weed Whisker stood behind her counter, sorting mail. Her hands moved fast, practiced. Each letter found its slot in the wall of wooden cubbies without her looking up. She knew I was there, knew before the bell over the door stopped ringing.
Ted Stonewall. Wondered when you'd come.
Need to ask about paper.
Anonymous letters. Whole village is talking. No one's asking the right questions.
I pulled one of the letters from my pocket. Walter had let me keep his. Said he never wanted to see it again. Kept it folded so only the paper showed.
Who buys paper like this?
Violet stopped sorting, took the letter, held it up to the light. Her eyes narrowed. She felt the weight, rubbed the corner between her fingers.
Hazel's premium stock. Expensive. Most borough folk use cheaper.
Who buys it?
Why would I tell you?
Because 7 families are being torn apart.
Letters aren't illegal.
No. But you don't like them.
Violet's mouth twitched. Not quite a smile.
I don't like anonymous anything. Coward's work. Cordelia Redhill bought some last month. Constance Bitterweed bought some 6 weeks back. Winifred Ashwood orders it regular.
3 names. I thought about each one. Cordelia's grudges were specific. Bagwell End, Wilton Bagwell. Always the same target. These letters scattered their poison wider. Winifred Ashwood was bedridden. Couldn't walk to the post office. Her niece handled her correspondence now. And I'd seen that niece's hand at the mill accounts. She could barely write her own name. Constance Bitterweed. The name sat in my mind like a stone.
Lives alone, never married. Goes to market, goes home, that's all. Bitter woman. Sees everything, says nothing. Until now, maybe.
I nodded, turned to go.
Ted. Whoever wrote those letters, they're not wrong about the facts.
I know.
Makes it harder.
Yes.
The bell rang as I left. Behind me, Violet kept sorting mail. Her hands never stopped moving. I watched Constance Bitterweed for 3 days. First day, Tuesday market. She walked from her burrow hole to the village square, early. The dew was still on the grass. She wore grey. Her dress was neat, pressed. Her hair was pinned tight under her bonnet. At Prudence Oatcake's stall she bought bread, 1 loaf, brown. Daisy took her coins, said nothing. No greeting, no smile. Just coins in hand, bread handed over, done. Constance's spine went rigid. Her chin lifted, her shoulders pulled back. Then she walked away, her back so straight it looked like iron. She moved through the market careful, brittle, like she was made of glass and one wrong touch would shatter her. No one greeted her, no one smiled. Borough folk stepped aside as she passed, but not out of respect, out of habit, like stepping around a stone. At the vegetable stall she examined carrots. While she looked, she listened. Gilbert Greenacre was talking to another farmer about grain prices, complaining about Chester Silverbrook's rates. Constance's eyes didn't move from the carrots, but her head tilted, just slightly, listening. She bought 3 carrots. Gilbert shortchanged her a copper. She saw it, her jaw tightened, but she said nothing, just took her carrots and walked away. I followed at a distance. She stopped at the badger's den, didn't go in, just stood outside the window. Inside, Edgar Muddyfoot was drunk, loud, bragging about something. His voice carried through the glass. Constance stood there for maybe 30 seconds, listening. Her face showed nothing. Then she walked on. She was collecting information, the same way I collected evidence at the mill, watching, listening, recording. I knew because it was exactly what I did. Second day, Wednesday. I was at the mill when she walked past. Morning. The wheel was turning. Through the window she carried a basket, empty, going to market again probably. She looked at the mill as she passed. Her eyes swept across the building, calculating something. Then she kept walking. I went to the window, watched her go. Her steps were precise, even, like she'd measured the distance between each one. That afternoon I went to her burrow hole. Didn't knock, just looked. Small place, one level. Garden in front, neat as drawn lines. Every plant trimmed exact. No flowers, just vegetables and herbs. Practical. The shutters were painted grey. The door was grey. Everything grey and precise and controlled. I walked around the back. Through a window she sat writing at a table. Her hand moved across the page, steady, fast, no hesitation, perfect penmanship. I watched for 10 minutes. She filled 2 pages, never looked up, never paused, just wrote. When she finished, she stood, walked to a shelf, pulled down a leather-bound book, opened it, added the pages she'd written to the others inside, closed it, put it back. The shelf was full of identical books, maybe 20 of them, all leather, all the same size, the spines worn smooth from handling. She was documenting something, everything maybe. As I turned to leave, the curtain moved, just slightly. She'd seen me, known I was there, let me watch anyway. Third day, Thursday. I needed proof. Watching wasn't enough. I needed her to write something, naturally. Without knowing I was testing her, I went to see Violet Weed Whisker.
Need your help.
How much help?
A little bit of deception.
Her eyebrows rose.
Go on.
Post a notice. Say several parcels arrived, but the addresses got smeared. Anyone expecting delivery should come write their name and address to claim them.
Violet set down her mail, studied me for a moment.
That's clever.
It's necessary.
It's both. Those letters hurt people, Ted.
I know. That's why I need to stop them.
She pulled out a sheet of paper, dipped her pen in ink.
When?
Today. She goes to market most days. Checks the post after.
And if she doesn't come?
She will. Everyone's waiting for something.
Violet wrote the notice in her neat hand, posted it on the board by the door.
Done.
Thank you.
Don't thank me yet. You might be wrong.
I'm not.
I left, walked to the Badger's den, bought a pint I didn't want, sat by the window where I could see the post office door, waited. 2 hours and 17 minutes. I know because I counted. My pint had gone warm in my hands by the time Constance Bitterweed climbed those post office steps. I gave her 5 minutes, then I followed. The bell rang as I entered. Violet was behind the counter. Constance stood in front of it, writing on a form. I moved to the side, picked up a parcel notice, pretended to read it, watched from the corner of my eye. Constance's hand moved across the paper. Neat, controlled. Each letter formed perfect. She finished, set down the pen, pushed the form across to Violet.
I'll check the back.
She disappeared through a door. Constance waited, her hands clasped in front of her. Her back was to me. I moved closer. The form lay on the counter. I could see it from where I stood. Constance Bitterweed, the Burrows, East Road left. The T crosses sloped right. The O's were perfect circles. The capital C started with a tiny flourish before becoming straight, identical to the letters. Violet came back.
No parcels for you, I'm afraid. Must have been another address mix-up. Sorry for the confusion. That's all right. Good day.
She turned, saw me standing there. Our eyes met. She knew. Not fear, not surprise, just knowledge, understanding. She nodded once, small movement, then walked past me to the door. The bell rang as she left.
Well?
I was still looking at the form, at the handwriting that matched perfectly.
I know who it is. And I need to think.
Ted. Those letters hurt people.
I know.
Families torn apart. Neighbours not speaking.
I know.
So what are you going to do?
I looked at her.
Talk to her first, before I decide anything.
Violet studied me. Whatever she saw in my face, she nodded.
Be careful. People who write poison don't always take kindly to being found out.
I will.
I left. The bell rang behind me. I had the answer Walter Hayward had wanted. Now I had to decide what to do with it. I waited until evening. The sun was low. The mill wheel had stopped for the day. I washed the flour dust from my hands, changed my shirt, walked to Constance Bitterweed's burrow hole. The road was quiet. Most burrow folk were home, eating supper. Smoke rose from chimneys. The air smelled like cooking. Her burrow hole was dark. No smoke from the chimney. No light in the windows. Maybe she wasn't home. I knocked anyway. Footsteps inside. Light. Careful. The door opened. Constance stood there. She'd removed her bonnet. Her hair was grey, pinned tight. Her face was lined. Sharp angles, thin lips. She looked at me, said nothing.
I know you wrote the letters.
She didn't blink, didn't step back, just stood there, one hand on the door. Then she opened it wider.
Come in.
The inside of her burrow hole smelled like old paper and lamp oil and cat. One grey cat sat on a chair, watching me with yellow eyes. Everything was neat, precise. Table aligned with the wall, chairs positioned exact. Books on shelves, all the same height, lined up perfect.
Sit if you want.
She didn't sit. She walked to the fireplace, no fire burning. She stood in front of it, arms crossed, her back to me. I stayed standing.
You wrote them.
Yes.
One word. No explanation. No denial. I pulled the form from the post office out of my pocket, set it on her table. Then I pulled out one of the anonymous letters, set it beside the form.
The handwriting matches. The paper's the same you bought from Hazel Inkwell. All 7 letters were posted from here in the Burrows.
Yes.
She still didn't turn around.
Why?
Now she turned. Her face was hard.
They're all true.
That's not...
That's exactly the point. Chester Silverbrook does water down his grain. I've measured it. 4 separate purchases. Consistent shortfall. 2 ounces per pound. Widow Agnes Thatcher's husband was a thief. I have testimony. 3 witnesses. He stole from the Thornbury market for 18 years.
How do you...
I document everything. 43 years. Every slight, every lie. Every time someone smiled while spreading poison.
I looked at the journals. There were more than I'd thought. Maybe 30 of them. A lifetime of watching, recording.
You can't just...
Can't what? Tell the truth. Expose hypocrisy. They all know what they've done. Every person who got a letter knows. But they hide it, pretend, lie.
So you decided to expose them?
Yes.
Anonymously?
Would you have believed me if I'd signed my name? Bitter Constance. That's what they call me. If I'd signed those letters, they'd have dismissed them, called it grudges, lies. This way, they had to wonder, had to think. Is it true? Could it be?
She walked to the window, looked out at the darkening sky.
I told myself I was correcting the record, balancing scales. But some nights I'd imagine their faces when they opened the envelopes. Some nights, that's what made me smile.
She turned back.
This isn't justice.
What is? Should I have ignored it, pretended, been kind while they were cruel, smiled while they mocked?
She opened the journal, turned pages, found what she was looking for.
Here.
I took it. Read. June 3rd, 1382. Wedding. Martin Greenhill married Sarah Fernwood. I attended because not attending would have been noticed. She smiled at me all day. So kind. So sweet. 3 weeks later I heard her at the Badger's Den, talking to her friends. Said I'd thrown myself at Martin. Said I was desperate, pathetic, reaching above my station. She smiled when she said it. The handwriting was younger, less precise, but the content was the same. Hurt, documented, preserved.
That was 43 years ago. I was 25. I loved him. She knew it. Everyone knew it. But she smiled at me anyway. Kindness as cruelty.
I closed the journal, handed it back. She took it, held it against her chest.
So don't tell me about justice, Ted Stonewall. Don't tell me about right and wrong. I've watched this village lie to itself for 43 years. I've documented every lie, every hypocrisy, every smile that hid contempt.
And the letters were your revenge.
The letters were the truth.
Same thing, in your case.
She smiled, actually smiled.
Yes? What will you do?
I didn't answer right away. I looked around her burrow hole, neat, controlled, empty except for journals and a cat. 43 years of loneliness turned into documentation. The letters were cruel. They'd hurt people, torn apart friendships, made families suspicious of each other. But everything in them was true, or close enough to true that no one could prove otherwise. And Constance Bitterweed had already been shunned for 43 years. These letters were the first time anyone had listened to her, even anonymously, even in hate.
The letters stop.
Or
Or I tell everyone it's you. And then no one believes anything you say. Ever. Your truths become just bitter Constance's grudges. Dismissed. Forgotten.
and if I stop?
I couldn't identify the writer. Case goes cold.
Why?
Because exposing you doesn't help anyone. You'll be shunned worse than before. The families will still be broken. Nothing gets better.
That's practical of you.
I solve problems. This solves the problem.
She walked to the window, looked out at the darkening sky.
You could have been a hero. Could have earned their gratitude.
Don't want gratitude.
What do you want?
The question hung in the air. I didn't have an answer. Constance turned from the window.
You're like me. You see things others don't. You watch. You notice. You document in your own way.
I'm not...
Yes, you are. The difference is, they need you. They need you to notice. So you're useful. I'm just bitter, Constance. We do the same work, but they love you for it. They hate me.
I wanted to deny it, wanted to say I was different, that I helped people, that I fixed things, that I wasn't collecting grudges in leather-bound journals. But I was standing in her burrow hole because I'd watched her for 3 days, documented her movements, recorded her habits, built a case against her. Same work, different purpose, maybe.
They don't love me.
Not yet, but they need you. That's better than love. I'll stop writing them. You have my word.
Why should I believe you?
Because I'm honest. Always have been. It's my worst quality. No more letters. No more truth-telling. I'll go back to being silent. Bitter. Alone.
I took the letter, folded it, put it in my pocket.
I won't apologize. Not to them. Not to anyone.
I'm not asking you to.
No, you're not. You should go. It'll be dark soon.
I walked to the door, stopped, turned back.
The journals. Why keep them?
Because someone should remember. Even if it's just me. The truth deserves to be documented. Even if no one wants to hear it.
I left, walked back down the road. The evening was cold. Stars were coming out. Behind me the door closed. The sound was final, certain. Walter Hayward met me at the mill the next morning, early. The sun wasn't fully up yet.
Well,
Couldn't identify the writer. Letters were too careful.
so they'll keep coming.
No, they've stopped.
How do you know?
I just know.
Walter looked at me. His eyes searched my face, looking for something. Truth, maybe, or lies. Whatever he saw, he nodded.
All right. Letters stopped. That's what matters.
Yes.
He left. His shoulders were straighter than before. The weight lifted. I stood at the mill, watching him go. The wheel turned. The water flowed. I'd solved it, found the culprit, stopped the letters, and I'd lied about all of it. 3 days later, I was at market. Needed potatoes. The mill stores were low. Gilbert Greenacre had the best potatoes. I was sorting through them, checking for soft spots, when I heard her voice.
3 carrots, please.
She stood 2 feet away at the carrot bin. She hadn't seen me. Her eyes were on Gilbert.
3 carrots, 3 coppers.
Constance handed him 5. Gilbert counted out 1 copper in return, placed it in her palm. Wrong. 3 carrots cost 3 coppers. He owed her 2 coppers back. He'd given her 1. Constance's jaw tightened. She'd noticed. Of course she'd noticed. She noticed everything. But she said nothing. Started to turn away.
Is that the right change?
Gilbert looked at me. Constance looked at me. Her eyes were sharp, surprised.
What?
3 carrots, 3 coppers. She gave you 5. That's 2 coppers change. Easy mistake.
I gave her 1 copper.
You gave her 1. But you owe her 2. Sex, 0.2. 5 minus 3 is 2. You kept 1.
Other borough folk were looking now, watching. The ambient noise of the market seemed to drop. Gilbert's face reddened. He pulled another copper from his pouch, handed it to Constance.
My mistake. The door closed behind her, and a moment later he heard it open once more. Good day to you, sir, she said.
Happens.
Constance took the copper. Her fingers closed around it.
Thank you.
To me or to Gilbert? I wasn't sure. She walked away, her carrots in one hand, the correct change in the other. 2 coppers this time, not 1. I found 3 good potatoes, paid Gilbert exact coin. He took it without meeting my eyes. Across the market, Constance stopped, turned, looked at me. Our eyes met. She nodded. Once. Small movement. I nodded back. Then she walked on, disappeared into the crowd. No one else saw, no one else knew. But something had shifted. Some small thing. Justice for 1 transaction. Fair weight on the scales, at least for today. Sheriff Fletcher never learned who wrote the letters. The case was filed as unsolved. Families slowly started speaking again. The poison left the well, mostly. Constance Bitterweed went back to being silent, bitter, alone, writing in her journals that no one would read. And I went back to the mill, grinding grain, watching, noticing. But sometimes at market, I'd be there when she bought her vegetables. Just coincidence, just happened to be shopping the same day. And if a merchant miscounted change, I'd notice. I always noticed. That's what I did. The wheel turned. The water flowed. I kept my secrets. She kept hers. Sometimes that's all you can do. The mill's quiet at night, just the sound of water. The wheel stops, but the river keeps moving, always moving. I think about the letters sometimes, about Constance's 43 years of documentation, truth preserved in journals no one wants to read. She was wrong. The letters were cruel. They hurt people. But they were also true. I don't know what to do with that. Truth that hurts, silence that protects, lies that keep the peace. The Burrows runs on comfortable lies, on pretending, on not seeing what's right in front of you. I see everything, same as Constance. But I'm useful, so they tolerate me. She's just bitter. Same work, different reception. The water flows. The wheel will turn again tomorrow. Grain will need grinding. Problems will need solving. I'll do what I do. Watch. Notice. Keep the scales as fair as I can. And Constance Bitterweed will do hers, writing truth in journals no one will read, alone in her grey burrow hole, with her grey cat and her 43 years of careful observation. Sometimes truth isn't enough. Sometimes it's just true. But sometimes you can give back 1 copper. Some days that's enough. The water keeps flowing. I get back to work.
Thank you for listening to this original Ted Stonewall mystery, The Case of the Poison Pen. Please like and subscribe to come back later to listen to the mystery of the grain thief.